Hello, and welcome to the New School Baseball Podcast. This is episode 8. My name is Iggy, but of course you know that. You've been here for 7 episodes already. If you're new, welcome. Please, relax, enjoy while we talk some baseball. While I talk baseball, and you can leave your comments and opinions down below, and hopefully we'll get a good discussion on that. Today, on the podcast, we talk about Bichette, a little bit of injury news on the home front of the Blue Jays, unfortunately. Arrieta pissed at Harper. Hoskins got his revenge, and Stanton adds to the injury woes of the Yankees. All that and more coming up right here, right now on episode 8 of the New School Baseball Podcast. Really quick though, just some housekeeping stuff. For any news, updates, and anything else, you can give me a follow on Twitter or Instagram at Iggy772. Both my handles there. Also down low in the description. Follow me up. Let me know you're from the podcast. I would love to hang out, talk with you guys when I can. Really quick though, this Friday, Blue Jays, Oakland Athletics, the return home of Kendrys Morales, plus the debut of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I have been waiting for the last 2 years of my life to see this young gentleman play baseball, and I finally get to. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. If you are that passionate about baseball, you're going to love today's show. Give it a good solid listen to. Please listen to the end. Let me know if you did enjoy the ending of the podcast there. But yeah, as always, my name has been Iggy. You've been listening to the New School Baseball Podcast. You are listening to the New School Baseball Podcast. And we have a great conversation, some awesome topics. I really hope you enjoy it. Let's just jump right into it. So, diving into the first story, reports here from Tom Raminsky of The Score. Blue Jays are reporting that Bichette, the prospect, will be serving some time on the IR, injured reserve, injured list. I think it's IR. On the IR, with a broken hand. The shortstop has a broken left hand. Sources told Robert Murray of The Athletic. Bichette will get a second opinion on the injury after preliminary tests revealed a break. Murray reports the 10th best prospect in baseball, according to the MLB pipeline, was hit by a pitch in a AAA game on Monday. So, looking at that, a little bit of a setback for any of those Jays fans hoping to see Bichette up in the lineup. But, I mean, broken hand, probably 4 to 6 weeks at the most. I've never really broken anything, so I don't know. 4 to 6 weeks probably. Being that he's an athlete, being that he'll be training and stuff, you'll probably see him back 2 to 4, and then he'll do a rehab start or 2 just to make sure that his hand's okay. So for sure, at least a minimum of 4 weeks he'll be out. But I mean, it wasn't like he was going to get called up tomorrow. Speaking of Blue Jays prospects being close to being called up, the Blue Jays are awfully close to calling up Vlad Jr., but it won't happen till it would have already happened according to when I'm recording this. They're thinking Tuesday. Oh, sorry, it won't happen Tuesday. So the 2 days ago. Trying to get an early start of this recording sucks. So let's try that again. The Blue Jays are awfully close to calling up Vladimir Guerrero Jr., baseball's top prospect, but it won't happen until Tuesday. It won't happen Tuesday, according to the USA Today's Bob Nightingale. Nightingale reported earlier Monday that Toronto was expected to call up Guerrero on Tuesday ahead of the club's game against the San Francisco Giants. All that remains is the official announcement. That is what Nightingale wrote. Guerrero is 20. He's hitting .412, 500. 824 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs in the last 5 games for AAA Buffalo this season. Yeah, I mean, a little bit more of the same. There was those rumors where everyone's like, "Oh, he's getting called up on Tuesday," and then you look at the roster, you look at the depth, and you're like, "There's no reason for him to get called up on Tuesday." So there's that. If there's another injury strain, if someone gets traded, maybe you might see it. If let's say they trade Justin Smoke and they platoon Tellez and Guerrero Jr. At first just to start. They might do that, or they might just DH Guerrero Jr. and keep Tellez at first to be the everyday first baseman like they want. It's tough to say, but I wouldn't hold your breath. I mean, they've already hit the part where they have one more year of control of service time on them, so they can call them up at any time. At this point, it's more of a anticipation game. I think honestly, what you're gonna see is the Jays are doing better than a lot of people expected this year. I expect them to go basically 0 and 162, right? Like I expected a complete rebuild from the bottom up, um, but now that they're doing okay. They're not by any means a great team. They're not 500 by any means, but they're still competing. For like I mean they swept the Oakland Athletics, so there's something there where they can string together wins, and they're holding their own against teams like Boston and the Orioles, and I don't think there's too much of the Yankees front or the Tampa Bay front, but they're holding their own against teams that are statistically better. So it's one of those things where maybe you let it ride, and inevitably, if they do end up starting to kind of taper to the side of less talent and less wins, then when your ticket sales drop, you call up Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and watch them boom as everyone flocks to the park to see his first major league game. When everyone flocks to the park to see him play and see if he's just like his dad, and then you ride off those ticket sales into the off season and you go from there, right? So there's always that aspect, and I think that's the game that they're going to play in reality is when the Jays start really struggling towards like right now they're doing okay, so safe to assume that they'll probably try and get some more trade pieces dealt relatively quickly, and then if that's the case, start calling up guys just to kind of fill in the spots or give guys who don't have as much playing time a little bit more playing time, and then eventually when that starts to cause uh, a lack of wins, let's say, then we'll see Vladdy Jr. get called up. You can almost guarantee that. So, yeah, there's that little bit of Blue Jays news. First thing right off the go for you. So, touching on a story we talked about on Tuesday, with Bryce Harper being injected, I really kind of just bumped that in really quick because I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to kind of get a brief opinion about it out, and it followed up that Tim Anderson story that got kind of heavy towards the end there. Um, I touched on Harper getting ejected over disagreeing with the strike zone call. And I said he's trying to be like the ultimate team guy, but it's also hurting him because he's not being the team guy that they need. He's just pretending to be to make it look good for everyone else on the outside, but it doesn't really matter based on the fact that he's not there now in the game, right? And post game on Monday, Jake Arrieta actually ripped Harper after his ejection. Um, so to kind of pull from the article here, um, Arrieta didn't hide his feelings after taking the loss on Monday's game against the Mets. I don't think our guys are ready to play. That's what he told Matt Gelb of The Athletic. Um, he did save his most pointed out criticism for Harper, who got tossed in the third or fourth inning after he had struck out in the game. Uh, he Arrieta goes on to talk to Scott Lauber of Philly.com. He says, "Look, I mean, he's got to understand we need him in right field. That's what Arrieta says." He continues with, "I don't care how bad the umpire is. He wasn't great for either side. I'm out here trying to make pitches, and he missed. and he misses some calls. So what? We need him out there. It's troubling, yeah. I'm out there doing everything I can to win a game. I need my guys behind me, and they weren't. Um, and that's true. I mean, if you're any position, if you're the starting player, you need to be on the field to make plays for your pitcher. They're chucking up pitches, and if the strike zone's bad for both sides, then it's a bad zone for both sides. You can't bitch and complain because it's equally bad for both sides. And now you've just got yourself tossed in a division rival game. Like, you're putting the second string guy in, and there's nothing wrong with the second string guy or the defensive moves or whatever, but you gotta understand there's a reason why you're being paid so much money. The plate umpire was Mark Carlson. He ejected Harper shortly after he struck out in the fourth inning. The former National League MVP questioned Carlson's calls during his at-bats and then yelled something from the dugout, which prompted his ejection. Then he ran onto the field and had to be restrained. We talked about that. Carson told a pool reporter that Harper's words from the dugout warranted an automatic ejection based on the, quote, personal comments and language that he used, according to Tom Britton of The Athletic. Carlson also said that there was an incidental physical contact during the argument, which was caused by Harper bumping manager Gabe Kapler into Carlson. Harper concluded that he should have exercised more restraint. Yeah, no shit. Like, this is exactly what we're talking about. Like, you're the guy. Be the guy. Bite your tongue. It's hard sometimes. It's very hard. You can let them know that you're displeased with the strike zone, that you thought it was low, you thought it was outside or whatever, and they goes, if that's what the call is, that's what the call is. Like, you gotta put up and shut up a little bit. You can voice your frustration, but you gotta realize that you're the guy. You're the guy that they're paying to be there. So be there. Be in the game. Harper did go on to say, it just can't happen from my side. This was his 12th career ejection. In a game like this against the Mets, a division rival, it just can't happen. And for me, myself, and my team as well, we're a better team with me in the lineup, and I've got to stay in there. No shit. He goes on to say, I can't control what Carlson's zone's going to be. I can control what I can do. I've got to be better with that tonight and going forward. So that was kind of the stereotypical cop-out answer for that. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with Arrieta. It was very selfish of Harper to just get tossed like that. Like, you can get it. You can voice your displeasure. You obviously voiced your displeasure to his face during the at bat. Now it's time to, put up and shut up. You've made it to the dugout. You're out. It's not going to change. You've been called out. You're back in the dugout. Shut the fuck up. Like, I deal with this a lot with a lot of guys. I used to deal with it a lot with a lot of guys who thought they were all-stars, right? And especially coaching young kids. They see it on TV, so they try and imitate it. It's like, guess what? I can almost guarantee this umpire has been around baseball longer than you have. So, in order for you to understand fully what he's going through and why he's calling what he is, you can't. You can like the call. You don't have to love the call, but you gotta live with the call. Like that. That's what it is. You can either like it, you don't like it, but guess what? Either way, that's what the call is. It's not gonna change unless it's a reviewable thing. It goes to review, but even in what like minor ball and everything else, when I coach, there's no reviews, there's no cameras. It's, did this umpire see it? Nope. Did this umpire see it? Nope. Well, fuck. There it is. We're done. We're done here. So, there's that. I'm interested to know your thoughts. I know there's gonna be a lot of Harper fans that are like, "Oh, he's just trying to get the best out of everybody," and like all this emotional bullshit. Don't come at me with that. Leave me a valid comment in the description. Thanks. The next story we're going to talk about is a little bit of a revenge is the dish best served cold. Also, let's stoke the fire for a rivalry. Oh, words. My apologies. I'm recording this at 11 o'clock at night after a baseball practice. It's going to be an interesting part of this segment here for the next, at least maybe for the next segment. Maybe if we can squeeze another one in here too. Rhys Hoskins got revenge tonight. Smoked a 2-run home run. No doubt about it. Looked back, watched it fly, and then proceeded to jog at a pace rivaled by that of Bartolo Colon, and I'll touch on that in a second. But everyone knows last night, sorry, not last night because this comes out on Thursday, so 2 nights ago on Tuesday, the night I recorded, the day episode 7 came out, Jacob Rhame was believed to have thrown at Rhys Hoskins intentionally. Throw in the ninth was behind the back and behind the head, and he kind of stared down. Benches emptied to the warning tracks, but never really did anything. Tonight, Harper on base. Hoskins bangs one left field, watches it fly, and then takes 34.23 seconds, according to Todd Selecki of MLB.com. And just for comparisons, Bartolo Colon, when he hit his first career home run in 2016, he jogged around the bases in 30.5 seconds. First, if you're curious, it's the longest home run trot of the 2019 season, and the first home run trot this season to go over 30 seconds. So, good job, Rhys. Rhame, when asked about it after, according to Tim Brenton of The Athletic, said, he got me, make a better pitch, he doesn't get to run around the bases. So he knows. And when speaking on the incident, David Ledden of Newsday is quoted to have Hoskins saying, a couple guys kind of said the phrase, don't poke the sleeping bear. And it seemed the last couple of innings were a pretty good indication that may have happened. This is the last time Philly meets the Mets, though. The next time they meet is in a 4-game series on June 24th. The Mets social media kind of, knowing the gravity of the situation there, pulled a lovely office meme. It's the gif of Ryan who's making notes, and the Phillies came right back at it. See you then, fam, with a gif of Rhys Hoskins' slow jog right around the bases. So that's going to be an interesting next little bit here to see on the 24th when the Mets and Phillies play each other again. I feel like that rivalry is now starting to heat up. You got both, two teams that kind of were notoriously in slumps, kind of slowly culminating into two powerhouses. And I'm very excited to see how this plays out. You can guarantee if I can't watch that game on June 24th, I will be PVRing the shit out of it. Let me know on your thoughts on this one. Personally, for me, I think it's kind of it's a good thing. Like when got thrown behind, bench is empty, nothing happens. All right, we're gonna let that slide. We're gonna get our revenge back, and they got their revenge back in a 2-run shot. So now there's a little fuel on that fire, and you can guarantee they're not gonna let that go. That's gonna be poking each other the whole time. That's gonna be both teams are just gonna be going at each other one after another, and it's great. I love it. I can't wait for it because those kind of rivalries, words. They won. They enforce better competition between the two clubs, which is fantastic. You get a better outcome and a better game. I love that. And two, it as much as I hate to condone violence, it can mount to a full-blown bench brawl. Full-blown bench brawl. Oh, say that 5 times fast. But yeah, it could amount to a full-blown bench brawl, and you can see, huge stories of that, which is great for baseball. Like that helps grows the game, right? So you get new eyes on the sport. And they're like, oh, people fight here? Oh yeah, let's go, let's check it out, right? So that's awesome. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments down below, and I'm very curious to know what you might think on the situation. So at the time of recording this, the Yankees sit at 13-10. They actually are pitching right now and playing against LA in Anaheim. But some bad news from the Yankees' standpoint, and their injury woes just keep getting worse. Giancarlo Stanton, who was on the IL for a left bicep strain, has now sustained a left shoulder injury while rehabbing that bicep strain. Uh, Manager Aaron Boone didn't disclose the exact nature of Stanton's shoulder problem, but the 29-year-old what he did say was he was feeling residual stuff. So what that tells me is during his rehab, I'm assuming he tried to compensate doing some weightlifting and tweak something in his shoulder. He It was released that Stanton did receive a cortisone shot in his left shoulder, so he's gonna rest for a few days. On the plus side, his bicep strain is fully healed, so that's a plus. Stanton is expected to rejoin the team in Arizona. He's going to stay in California, actually, and rehab his shoulder after the Yankees leave LA. The Yankees have 12 players on including Stanton, on the injured list right now on the IL. So that's just crazy, and that's extra setbacks. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for that squad. I mean, they are doing better than they started. They are 13-10 now, so that's a plus there. But it's very interesting to see that it will be very interesting to see how this plays out here. So that is it. That is all, my friends. I really do hope you enjoyed this episode 8 of the New School Baseball podcast. Of course, my name is Iggy. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to today's show. If you have, go ahead, drop a like for me. I really do appreciate it. It lets me know that you guys enjoy the videos, or the podcast, rather. If you're new, feel free to subscribe. Like the more this community grows, the better. I always like having a variety of input and opinions. And to those of you who have reached out to my Twitter and DM'd me, talked to me about some baseball stuff, I love you guys for that. I really do hope you enjoy this weekend coming up. All the fun stuff that the MLB has to offer, baseball-wise. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. debut, CC Sabathia hitting 3,000 strikeouts, all that and more this weekend, and I can't wait for an amazing weekend of baseball. But I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to finish editing this podcast and get ready to upload it. You guys are fantastic. I love you guys so very much. And remember, live life like a 3-0 count and just swing.